What's up guys, welcome back to another reaction video. Today I'm gonna react to this YouTuber. sorry. Sorry. What the fuck? What am I doing with my life, man? Okay, weird. Alright, what's up guys, welcome back to another reaction video. Today I'm gonna react to this YouTuber named Young Don Reacts, and it's titled Gen Z is obsessed with locking in. And of course, you know the memes of locking in, right? Focusing on your grind, focusing on yourself, focusing on your purpose. I think that is very good. But let's see what the video is going to be. Let me see how my thoughts, how I'm going to react to it, and see my opinions of it. So let's start.
The one common denominator between all of them is intense focus over a long period of time on one thing, which is definitional.
This nigga just fucking copied off my homework. God damn. Do we even gotta watch it? I haven't watched this video at all. But this nigga really about to just like say everything I just said. So we are 4.5 months into 2026, and I only have one question for you. Have you locked in? Are you locked in right now? Huh? Right? Apparently, this is like just the mindset of Gen Z, especially.
So, with this idea of locking in, we kind of have to take account two factors, right? Especially nowadays, modern dating is very difficult. Getting jobs nowadays is very difficult. The economy is getting very expensive and getting worse day by day, right? You know, everything that used to get easily, like buying a house, starting a family back then, is just little to no effort. But now that entry to get in has been very difficult. Therefore, it would require some effort, a lot of hard work and a lot of effort. And I think that's what the concept of locking in would go to play. So, self-improvement, self-improvement was just naturally that, right? Was naturally just locking in, but it wasn't severe and going too far as these Gen Zers are going with. It's probably that one meme, oh, just locking in the gym, right? Oh, locking in on a purpose of a grind to make more money. That type of stuff, right?
Gen Z young men, it's like they're about to lock in, they're locking in, or they're fucking locked in. Or they just stopped being locked in to live a little bit and now they got to lock back in. You gave yourself a day off. You took a day to just be a human and breathe. Now you got to lock back in, right? There's this obsession with locking in.
Yeah, so definitely like you said, like, oh, like even if you take like a rest day, you feel like you're behind, right? I definitely thought about that like that too, right? I'm grinding every single day. Yeah, I was once like, working out every single day, working every single day of my life, not wanting to have a lot of rest, just always just being so focused on the goal and on the purpose. You know, back then waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning, doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, doing a 2-mile run, and then doing my workout, and then not sleeping until 9 and 10, right? It's almost very similar to hustle culture. Definitely can be definitely related to hustle culture. And yeah, I just did that, and to the point where it kind of like burned me out, and I felt like I feel like I'm not getting to what I want to be in life, right? And I always think like, oh, if I just work harder more, I would get to it. But in reality, it's just like it doesn't really make a difference, right? I'm still gonna be in the same cycle.
With Gen Z, didn't really have it that much. My generation, the millennials. I'm a younger millennial. Like I'm right before Gen Z starts. I'm a couple years before Gen Z starts, and like I definitely in college like was very familiar with hustle culture, but Gen Z takes it to a whole nother level, my guy. All right, let's check out this video right here. Discuss this topic a little deeper. Gen Z's addiction to locking in. Yeah. Video by Malik Peace. This video went crazy. 1.4 million views. Bro was spitting.
This year is my year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna delete Instagram and focus on my goals. And what's that? This year is my year. I'm gonna delete TikTok. Wake up at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Start a dropshipping store.
Oh,
do
yeah.
some push-ups and finally get my shit together. This year is my year.
Right.
I swear I'm gonna delete TikTok. Wake up at 5 o'clock every single morning. Meditate.
Every year you gotta wake up earlier. Every year you fail to become a multi-millionaire billionaire because you didn't lock in hard enough. All that means is you gotta lock in harder the next year and wake up 1 hour earlier.
Journal, manifest.
Kevin Hart wakes up at 4 a.m. or some shit. What the fuck are you doing?
Dreams, dump everything into an NFT, get rich in crypto, and then I'm gonna find. Okay, this year is my year. Waking up at 4 a.m., going on a dopamine detox.
Dopamine detox. You got a dopamine detox. This is the book Kai Cenat read. Be careful with this shit. You saw what happened to Kai Cenat once he started reading books and shit. Be careful when you fucking around with this shit. But Atomic Habits, this is one of the books he was like, this is my favorite book. I feel like it's the only book he read like recently, within recent history, and he's like, yeah, it's my favorite book.
Habits, taking cold showers, listen to a few Huberman podcasts, so now I know I'm ready for. This year is 3 a.m. up, 5 side hustles, red light sauna. I still gotta delete TikTok. This
gotta get the red light in.
is my winter arc. This year, I swear I'm actually locked. This year, wake up at midnight, straight into an icy lake.
Yeah, and even though this this is like, very funny, right? It's kind of like definitely true. It's like every New Year's, right? It's every New Year's resolution. At first, they have these goals, they're always motivated, and then month pass by, 1 month in, and then they already quit their New Year's resolutions. They didn't even realize, hey, they even made their New Year's resolutions, right? Yeah, it's definitely the factor of discipline getting into play, but it's every year. Every year is like that, right? Why do you think gyms are always so filled in by like every year in January, right? Even there's just a one meme, it's just so funny, right? So you can like see how it kind of like relates to this, right?
Starting my personal brand, 10-mile run.
Yeah, the winter arc, that wasn't even a thing when I was in high school, not even college. Winter was, they used to call it cuffing season. Now it's your winter arc. Now it's time to lock in and bulk up and put on weight in the gym. Get your PRs up. When I was in high school and college, that was cuffing season. That was when you was supposed to find yourself a little boo thing if you didn't have one already, so that y'all can be cuddled up during the Christmas times, during the winter times, and then spring break, summertime, that shit. If you're not in like a committed relationship, it's time to part ways because it's time to have fun. Yeah, you still went to the gym because you had to get ready for summer. You still had to get shredded for summer, but we didn't associate the winter with like being alone and like, I'm a Sigma male. What's going on with that? I don't know. That's Gen Z.
Backwards, push-pull legs Arnold split, deleting my entire phone. No friends, no distractions, 4 years of monk mode. I will.
4 years of monk mode. No, don't bust a single nut for 4 years. We're 1 minute in the video. How are we going to finish this shit?
That mainly Gen Z has been making popular recently, which can be summed up as just getting serious, to lock your attention onto a single thing. And that thing can be less serious stuff, like playing a video game or trying not to laugh at something serious. But I want to lock in, focus, get it, never mind. On the more serious side, that when someone says they're going to lock in, it means to really get your shit together and focus on whatever thing you want to achieve, which is typically a big goal that we have for ourselves. Usually referring to things like going to the gym or studying or something related to money, whatever. And on its own,
it's all related to money. When you think about it, everyone's just trying to lock in to make more money. That's really the only thing you don't got to lock in.
Yeah, definitely for money and then for freedom as well. Yeah.
To relax, to have a good life, to be happy, to be content, to be present and at peace. You don't got to lock in to accomplish any of that shit. And that's where.
Well, I mean, of course, you got to take into the factor of freedom, right? They're making all this money, of course, to get the nice car, the fast cars. But of course, for like that freedom to do whatever they want, Of course, like the people that don't have like a lot of money that, that struggle to get by every single day of their lives, they don't have that much freedom, Um, it just depends on their living situation, what their living situation is right now. And definitely makes sense for them to like you know if a guy who's struggling sees this video, hey, they maybe want to be motivated to do this, to log in. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But I think it's kind of definitely getting to the point where it's definitely getting very competitive and very too far, to the point where your self worth will be just based on that, right?
A lot of the joy of life is. I'm not saying don't get money. I'm getting money. Money is good. Money's useful. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? That's where the whole lock-in hustle culture shit. It's all centered on making money.
Absolutely nothing wrong with this at all. Locking in is necessary for doing anything worthwhile. But the problem with locking in is that it's only useful if you actually do it. But barely anyone does. We've all had that 2 a.m. motivation when we wake up and just start pacing in our rooms. When we saw a video of someone our age making $150,000 a month,
Sure.
and they buy their parents a new house with a Rolls Royce. So we start planning on becoming a millionaire in 6 months. We start researching and watching videos. Maybe go do a couple of push-ups and squats. We delete TikTok and Instagram from our phones. Maybe even pull out a journal and write down some plans about something. And we
Right.
swear we're going to go
Yeah.
to the gym tomorrow. And then we go to bed, wake up, re-download TikTok the next day, and just repeat the cycle
Yeah.
over and over and over again. And like, it sounds kind of funny because we all kind of been through it, but in all seriousness, it's insanity.
Yeah, it is.
It's demoralizing. It gets beyond frustrating when time keeps passing, but for some reason we're not where we want to be in our lives. When we're not even on the path, when you haven't locked in like you swore you were gonna do, and now it's 2025 and you're in the same spot you have been for over half a decade. When it's your literal 40th attempt saying you're gonna do something, and you don't even believe or trust yourself anymore. Like, it's not even sadness or anger, it's just numbness. But why exactly does that happen? Like, why is it so difficult to do the things we swear we want to do, yet it's so easy to do the things that we know won't help us long term?
Here's the thing. Here's the you don't got to lock in. This is the problem. If I could go back in time and talk to my younger self, I guess I also had my version of like locking in. Like I said, it was like that hustle culture. It wasn't all like consuming the way it seems to be with a lot of these like younger Gen Z dudes, especially. But I had my own version of this. I'm a type A personality kind of guy. I'm an ambitious person. I've built multiple YouTube channels with hundreds of thousands, some millions of subscribers. I've done this shit. I get after it, right? But here's the very simple advice that makes this like the reason you constantly feel the need to lock in is because you're not focused. And the reason you're not focused is because you have too much shit you're paying attention to. That's the secret. Bro, if I just like stuck to one thing, like, you know what I'm saying? I got my YouTube shit popping as this like animator guy. I got that shit popping. If I had just like focused on that thing and never allowed myself to deviate from it, that shit would be fucking 5-6 times bigger than what it is right now. I mean, I grew it to a pretty successful size, and I'm actually very happy with what I'm doing now, and I'm focused on this. Like, I promise you, come back 5 years from now, I'll just be doing this at a much higher level because I got it now.
Yeah, like of course, when you start to focus a lot on very young age, and of course I did this as well. Um, I felt like for me there was definitely some regret in the back of my mind where, oh, I feel like at the same time I would also try to enjoy my life, enjoy my years of life. You know, people don't realize the amount of sacrifice it takes. Now, for him, he was definitely focusing on a lot of things, but if he were to focus on one thing at a time, of course, his YouTube channel, which is the reaction channel today, would have been popped off. And look, like, I definitely like this YouTuber. He's definitely very, he is successful in himself. He definitely has like a lot of advice, a lot of opinions that I definitely agree with. And then, yeah, for me, I started focusing on so many things. When in reality, if I just focus on one thing at a time, I can be able to go more further ahead in life, right? Okay, since I have 10 things I want to do, okay, let's focus on this one thing for now, for like couple years or whatever amount of period of time that I want, and then after that, we can go to the next part of what I want to do, right? A next other part that I also want to do as well. right? So I think doing everything at the same time is not gonna it's not gonna help. It's not gonna get you. It's not gonna in terms of progress. It's not gonna make you the a large amount of progress, right? And that's just definitely the thing that I had that big. I think the biggest mistake, right, and my regret as well. So
I understand it now. Like that's the secret, bro. Is just pick a thing, one thing. If you're too chicken shit to focus on that one thing, don't even bother. You're not built for it, right? So it's like if you want to be a rapper, nigga, that's all you should be thinking about. That's all you should be focused on, right? I'm not telling you to drop out of school or anything because in hindsight, bro, finish your little 4-year degree, bro. It ain't that much time. Trust me. It's not like your parents try to tell you. It's not. If you're already, especially if you're already like halfway through it, I dropped out of school. It worked out for me. I'm not judging you if you don't, right, finish it. I'm just saying like that would be nice. I wouldn't that would be nice if I had a fucking 4-year degree in my back pocket. You know what I'm saying? So if you're young, like you went to college at the right time, and I don't want to get too sidetracked. I'm just saying, don't just take this and be like, oh, I'm gonna drop out of college. It's really not taking out that much time from you, bro. Like you'll be 20 fucking 23, bro. You're still a fucking kid, bro. Finish school. But regardless, thing is, just pick a thing, do that one thing, bro. Do that one thing. You feel me? Just focus on that. And that way, bro, if you end up doing a little other bullshit on the side, play a little video game here, go hang out with your friends there, you know what I'm saying? Have a little fun over there. You're still going to get the main thing done. The problem is when you have all these different things.
yeah, and like in the end of the day, right? You know, there's gonna be a point in your life where like you're gonna have to rest, right? You're eventually gonna have this point of like this um you this point of like, hey, wanting to enjoy your life because you did the hard stuff first, right? So it's eventually at that point in time where like once you grind a lot, once you like worked hard a lot, eventually you're gonna have this sense of like this accomplishment that you did this, and then you end up want to enjoy your life because of that, right? People don't realize that it takes a lot of it takes a lot of sacrifice to do that, and I feel like sacrifice in terms of locking in is just something that's not talked about, that and it's something that's not addressed about, right?
That you're like pursuing, right? The first problem is most people don't ever pick a thing. But then the second thing is they don't stay focused on that thing. If you do that, bro, you don't need to worry about constantly locking in. You're just going to keep making progress.
Not even like we don't want these things or don't even know how to get them. Because if you have an internet connection, which you have to be for watching this video, you can easily figure out exactly how to get exactly what you want out of life. Hundreds of millions of people have that ability, but then why can't people do it? Why can't people focus? Why can't people stick with something longer than 75 days? Why will 90% of people live the same year over and over and over again? Why can't
Think about that. You don't stick with the same thing for more than 75 days in this guy's hypothetical. What happens on day 76? You're doing something else. That's all that's happening. It's not like, oh, I want to be a painter or a rapper or a YouTuber or a streamer or an artist or fucking a doctor or whatever. Or I want to teach myself how to code. I want to teach myself Spanish. It's not that like you do it for a while and then you just stop and now that space is filled up with nothing, right? You've probably gone on to now you're doing fucking with something else. Don't do that. Stop. Just do the thing. Just that thing. Just keep doing it. Do it shittily. On some days you're going to be shitty at it. Some days you're going to half-ass it. Some days you're going to be really like focused and make a lot of progress. Some days it's going to feel like you're going through the motions. The point is if you just focus on that one thing, bro, like there is no way 5-10 years doesn't pass by and you're not like one of the best at that shit. You're just elite at it.
Yeah, like for me, like I always wanted to be a YouTuber, but of course I would like to do other things in life, such as playing the guitar, learning how to make cars, like being an engineer my whole life. But instead of like terms of these going career after career after career, I can use that to for my YouTube channel, to experience it, to document it as well. So yeah, like of course being, but just at the same time, just being a YouTuber, like of course making YouTube videos is definitely just my main thing in life now, right? Like nothing else, right?
Will be, because most people don't do this.
Gen Z seem to lock in. Well, first of all, it's not just Gen Z who can't lock in, but almost every human for all time. Because focusing on long-term goals outside of survival inherently goes against human nature and the way our minds work. But more on that in a second. And second off, why exactly is locking in so important? Because if you research different people who've done anything worthwhile in any domain, they all got there doing different things during different times, but the one common denominator between all of them is intense focus over a long period of time on one thing, which is definitional.
This nigga just fucking copied off my whole.
Yeah, and then that's very important now. I kind of realize that now, right?
Homework. God damn. Do we even gotta watch it? I haven't watched this video at all. 99% of the time I watch a video from scratch with y'all. But this nigga really about to just like say everything I just said.
I don't know if that's an actual word. Locking in. If you want to become world champion, you need to lock in. If you want to revolutionize personal computers, you need to lock in. If you want to lead the civil rights movement, you need to lock in. If you want to make legendary films, you need to lock in. Even if you don't want to change the world, but you just want to have a family, provide for them, be in shape, and live a simple life, you still need to lock in. Because we all have a certain amount of energy and time. And if we spread out this energy evenly amongst 1,000 different seeds, the most impressive thing you'll ever grow is 1,000 blades of grass. But if you're actually able to put your energy onto one thing, sure, you might not have 1,000 blades of grass, but the one thing you will have is an oak tree. And this idea of locking in is so ingrained in us that it's been seen throughout several.
It seems simple, bro. I'm telling you, if I could go back in time and try and instill one principle in my mind to dramatically like put me at a much better place than I am today. And like I said, I'm glad where I am today. But I'm saying if I be leagues ahead of where I am, that's what I would have done, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just lock in, bro. But by lock in, mean pick a thing, focus on a thing. You can do other things, just you can't try to change your reality in other departments. You can't be trying to change things. So for you right now, your universe, your reality is set up in a very particular way, right? Your body is a very particular way. Your bank account's a very particular way. Your skill sets in different areas are a very particular way. Like if someone could take a snapshot of who you are, every single thing that you are intentionally trying to change dramatically and significantly drains you of your energy and your ability to make changes in any one of those specific departments, right? And so for instance, if you're just trying to like learn Spanish, for instance, that needs to be the only thing you care about. You can do other things, but you shouldn't be trying to accomplish other things in those departments, right? So you go to work, you go to the gym, you have fun, you fuck around with video games, but you're not in your mind also like, ooh, I have a goal of like becoming one of the best in the world at Elden Ring, while you're also trying to learn Spanish. Or, ooh, I'm trying to get in like elite physical shape. Like, no. Everything else needs to be on autopilot. Everything else, you kind of just need to be going with the flow, going through the motions. There needs to just be one thing that you're trying to actually change, right? Where that thing is in your reality, bro. That's how it works. You do that, you will be a fucking...
Yeah, and finding one thing to do for the rest of your life is very hard, right? And that definitely would determine your whole life by doing that, Everything else is like don't stress so much about it,
Legend, bro, I'm telling you.
Stories and myths throughout history. Like, for example, the Buddha. He lived his life of luxury and comfort so he could sit under a tree and fully focus on finding enlightenment. And monks are basically the definition of being locked in. They remove all distractions and everything that brings temporary mindless pleasures so they can focus on finding peace. This is also why we have the term monk mode, which is just another version of locking in. Even a lot of philosophers talk
This I disagree with. Trying to eliminate all distractions, you're going to drive yourself insane. doing this shit, bro. No, everything else, you go with the flow. You just do, just go with the flow. Everything else, you want to play the video game, play the game. Maybe you played it for 30 minutes today. Maybe you didn't play it at all. Maybe you played it for 3 hours. The point is,
I mean, of course, in general, like, don't, just remove like distractions that could just cause you to, to not be focused, or may cause you to just ruin your life, right? Or just make you regret it. Like, at least remove those distractions. I tried removing all distractions from my life, but it was kind of hard because the distractions that I couldn't control just came back naturally, right? So I had to deal with it, and had to deal with it as well. I had to deal with it as well, right? Naturally.
you don't have any goals regarding it. You just kind of do it how you feel like doing it. But the thing you're trying to change, you always need to like bring your mind back to that thing. You need to touch that thing every day, ideally, even if it's
Yeah, and I think the important is like, yeah, it's a very important to redirect the focus, right? Always redirect the focus. In meditating, you're supposed to have this clear mind. You're supposed to be focused on one thing in life. But if you get distracted by other, you always redirect the focus. Even professional meditators still to this day would have these distracting thoughts, and they would have to redirect the focus. That's also what I had to do as well, right? I would meditate. Um, um, I usually would meditate a good amount of time, but of course, if I had this distracting thought, I'll try to focus as much as I can possible, right?
just for a little bit of time. But that's something you got to touch every day. And the more you do, the more progress you'll make. But you don't have to like neurotically eliminate all distractions. I went through that phase. You'll drive yourself insane. You don't need to do that.
About removing distractions and focusing on what's actually important in their lives, and how chasing temporary mindless pleasures gets you nowhere long term. Because even eons ago, they understood that having your energy spread all over the place doesn't get you anywhere and leads to an empty life. And also, in almost every single story with a hero's journey, they have to lock in and focus relentlessly on changing into a better person or overcoming a huge obstacle. Even in a lot of shows or movies or entertainment, if you think about it, a lot of the time, a lot of people's favorite or most memorable parts is when a character gets serious, when their eyes change, and you can tell that they don't care about anything else other than the goal. Especially in sports, when athletes in the zone or they have tunnel vision and they just even if you look at different biographies of people in the not too distant past, or motivational speakers, or people who are alive today, they all mention the focus, the grind, the locking in, how they went through periods of relentless focus and they removed distractions so they could really get shit done. And how even during those moments, even though they weren't all sunshine and rainbows, they look back at those moments in admiration because it molded them into becoming a better human being. And I think locking in is something that we all subconsciously strive towards, because we all know that it's the closest answer we have to the big question, how to be happy. Because if you've ever actually been locked in, or you've gotten into a flow state, or just have gotten lost in the progression of an activity, you know that it's one of the best feelings that you can experience. Not buying something, not doom scrolling, not giving into instant gratification pleasures.
See, yeah, I don't even know where he's going now about happiness. I completely disagree with this. I am a very happy person, a very joyful, content person. Very satisfied, very, very little anxiety, very little sadness in my life, like barely a blip every now and again. And it's been that way for over a year now, very consistently, very different from my experience for the majority of my life. For the majority of my life, I was fearful, anxious, and depressed. And I do not at all like ascribe any of this change to me being focused or eliminating distractions. You just get more of what you pour your energy into. So once you stop pouring your mind and focus and your energy into any source of negativity in your life, like you just don't give it that energy and you try to give your energy to positive shit and you focus on that. And when you see little wins start to come, you really put a lot of energy into that and you do your best to not put energy into the negative shit. Eventually all the negativity dies out and you're just left with positivity. And I'm not saying this is like completely in your head either. The universe, as you focus on good, the universe is going to give you tools. It's just like when you're playing a video game and you decide discover different items in the video game campaign that help you with your progression towards achieving your goals and defeating bosses, right? And that thing might change. At one point, it was me being diagnosed with ADHD and getting on Adderall. I'm off of Adderall now, though, right? It was discovering, oh, like I needed to improve my sleep. It was, it's like little different things here and there. Oh, I needed to quit caffeine. I got off caffeine. Oh, I needed to quit alcohol. I got off alcohol. You know what I'm saying? I'll have a beer every once in a blue moon, but like for the most part, I'm off alcohol. The point I'm making is like but it starts with you focusing on the good, and it starts with you not focusing on the bad. Bad thoughts will happen, bad feelings will arise. The point is, don't feed into those things. You know what I'm saying? Don't pour your energy into it. Someone's talking shit about you, someone's trying to have conflict with you, don't pour into it. Right? Maybe in the moment, initially in a knee-jerk reaction type shit, you might like give it energy because you're human. We're all human. But I'm saying like on an ongoing basis, once you got a moment to like get some distance between the situation and remember that what you pour yourself into, you get more of. Stop pouring yourself into negative things. Don't do anything out of fear. Right? Because if you do things out of fear, the universe is going to give you more things to be afraid of. You feel me? Whatever you pour yourself into, you get more of. And so,
Yeah, yeah, um, yeah, I can agree with it, and I think in my life I start to realize now, don't get into the negative things, because it's not worth it. At the end of the day, it's not worth it, you know.
pour yourself into positive shit. Don't worry. You don't have to figure it out. You actually don't have to figure anything out. It's why the Bible says that, right, you will not need anyone to teach you anything once you are in alignment with God. Why? It's because the universe will just give it to you. Like whatever you focus on, it will. You don't have to worry about how it's going to get there. It'll inspire you. You'll have ideas. You'll have eureka moments. People will come into your life. Things will like fucking just manifest in your life to help you along that path. Nothing you could have ever like mastermind on a whiteboard. It just happens. You get what I'm saying? And so that's all you got to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah. So shout out to bro here. Clearly he snapped in this video. Clearly he resonated with a lot of people. So I'm not trying to like talk no shit. He got 1.4 million views on his video. I'm probably not going to hit 1.4 millions on mine. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to watch the rest of his video, go ahead and do that. But for the
Yeah, I'm not gonna like watch the rest of the video, but of course, he definitely made yeah, not bad video, good video. And definitely the advice at the end about like, okay, just focus on the positivity, because realizing that being both the positivity and the negativity, don't let that affect you as a person. Don't see it as a way that like, oh, it's just defining me as a person. Where in reality, like, whether it's positivity or negativity, you're still being you at the end of the day, right? You can't please other people. You can't force people to like you, yes, right? There's some people that's not gonna like you. There's some people that is gonna like you. At the end of the day, just try to be you for that, right? Yeah, overall, um, yeah, good video. It says with locking in. I think the takeaway, for this video is, of course, just do your own thing, right? Focus on, one thing. Of course, honestly, just live your best life as possible, and don't feel like you're forced to kind of like do something that's not your thing. You know, like I said, really, yeah, get off of social media, right? Don't feel like don't feel pressure to doing it, because I think that's what causing this kind of like uprise to be about. If everyone was just grinding, people feel like they're just behind, and that's why, okay, people feel behind in their life. They're comparing themselves to other people, all that stuff. But yeah, very good video. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please hit a like on the video, share, comment, subscribe. My links are in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.